Our 2024-2025 season previews continue on today with the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are a team that last year surprised a lot of people. They did. And they were a team that actually came really close. They were fighting for a playoff spot into the final week of the season because of that the end of the season collapse in the last 10 or 15 games. It was kind of the main reason why the team kind of just ran out of gas and missed the playoffs, obviously. So it was a year for Philadelphia that for sure was unexpected, but at the end, it had the same ending as the previous years. But I want to go back to 21-22, where this team went 25-46-11 for 61 points. They were 29th in the NHL this past year. That was a year where some people expected the team to get better. They really did. They expected the team to really improve and be better than the horrible bubble year that was at the end of last season, of the season before that. So overall, it was a brutal, very disappointing year. They go in, they select Cutter Gauthier 5th overall. Yeah, that didn't turn out to be that great, but regardless, I thought that past year was a very rough season. The season after, it was a little bit better out of the Flyers team, but still not that much better. They went 31-38-13 for 75 points. They were 26th in the NHL. Obviously, Chuck Fletcher gets fired. Danny Briere comes in. They draft Matvei Michkov, their next savior or phenom for this team. I'm a Flyers fan, so I can say that. But overall, this past year, 2023-24, was an absolute roller coaster. They went 38-33-11 for 87 points. They were 21st in the NHL. And again, as I said, they kind of fell out at the end of it and missed the playoffs. And yeah, that was a roller coaster of a year. They were really good, but a lot of things happened off the ice, on the ice. It was one hell of a year for the Philadelphia Flyers. They made a lot of headlines for sure, and I have no idea what to expect out of this coming year. The last few seasons, I kind of knew what I was expecting. I guess except for last year. Last year kind of surprised me a little bit, but I knew this team was probably going to miss the playoffs. I knew they were not going to be so good. They were better than I thought last year, but they obviously still missed the playoffs. This is the first year, I think, ever since I became a Flyers fan. Now, you got to remember, that's a short time because I'm only 17 years old. But this is the first year in a while where, as a Flyers fan, I really have no idea what to expect out of this team this year. Could they be good and sneak into the playoffs? I could see it. Could they be horrible and finish bottom 5? I could also see that. So, honestly, I have no idea what to expect out of them this coming year. So I'm just going to get into the arrivals and departures because it's also a very short list. Your arrivals is just Matvei Michkov. I think that even though he's a rookie, he's been with the team, we didn't think he was coming over for a few more seasons. And what do you know? They get him over only a year after he was drafted when many teams passed on him because, oh no, we're not going to see him for a few more seasons. Well, he's here now, folks. And whether you want to say it or not, you can't deny that Danny Briere, I think, did a very good job at, overall just bringing him over here and just worked very well. The departures is also a very short list. Cam Atkinson, Carter Hart, and Mark Stahl. Carter Hart was already out for half the year because of the allegations. Cam Atkinson bought out, didn't have that great of a contract, wasn't producing very well. Mark Stahl was brought in as kind of a guy just to fill a blue line role. I thought he was decent. He wasn't the greatest. But obviously he split a lot of time between there and just the injury reserve because he got hurt a lot. But overall, not a lot of changes to this team's lineup. So that tells me one of two things. There's a chance that this team is going to be the same this year and either squeak in or miss, or they're going to be horrible. There's really no in between there. I have no clue what to expect from the Flyers, as I said again earlier in the video. But getting into the projected lineups, these are from the Hockey News, not from me. Your top 6, Joel Farabee, Sean Couturier, and Travis Konechny is your first line. And then Owen Tippett, Morgan Frost, and Matvei Michkov as your second line. It's a solid top 6, I'm not going to lie. I like the first line. Hopefully Couturier can have a big year this year. You come back from missing 2 years. It's obviously rough to get into it. But maybe this coming season, he finally gets himself into the groove. He's the captain of the team. And things obviously work out that way very well. Hopefully that's what happens. Again, not 100% sure, though, if it will. Obviously, too, hopefully Konechny has another really good year. Hopefully Farabee has a good season. Tippett keeps producing. For us, it's another really big season, too. And then you obviously want to see what happens with Michkov. Again, you've heard it so many times in so many different previews about Michkov, how excited he's going to be, how talented this player is. Yeah, the hype is real here in Philadelphia because I am from the Philadelphia area. I can speak for this. The hype around him is insane. Like, it's insane. The amount of hype I've seen from news outlets, the overall media in Philadelphia that really doesn't pay attention to hockey that much. Not because, the Flyers are good, right? No, they weren't that good for a while. But again, the amount of hype around him is crazy in this city. And he's not the savior. He is that guy you probably want to build this team around. But you need a lot more. You need a lot more building this team. Your bottom 6, Tyson Foerster, Ryan Poehling, Bobby Brink. Fourth line, Noah Cates, Scott Laughton, and Garnet Hathaway. And then for some extra guys, you have Nick Deslauriers, Rodrigo Abels, no idea who that is, and Samu Tuomala. I like those ads a lot. I think that, they're not really ads. They're new guys that could make the team this year. But I like some of the guys in the bottom 6. Foerster, I hope, has a good season. I liked how Poehling played last year. I like that they brought him back. I do like Bobby Brink. He looked pretty good last year through some stretches. Obviously, there was some controversy behind that being sent down to the AHL and such, but I still thought that overall he was solid last year and showed a lot of potential for the Flyers. Again, that's a good fourth line too, especially Deslauriers. He can get up there over Noah Cates and start some fights. Garnet Hathaway, we know what he can do as well. So again, it's not a bad forward core. It's a forward core that I think it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's just solid or good in a way. But I really do like that forward core. The defense is night and day. You have Cam York and Travis Sanheim as your first pairing. Then you have Nick Seeler and Jamie Drysdale as your second pairing. Then you have Igor Zamula and Rasmus Ristolainen as your third pairing. Then you have Eric Johnson as your seventh D. So that's not a... It's a lot of questions surrounding that defensive tandem. I've bounced back and forth as a Flyers fan a lot this past offseason looking at that defensive core. I think the biggest X factor of that is Jamie Drysdale. Can Drysdale have a good season? He said in pressers that his body's doing better than ever. He's looking forward to having a really good year this year in Philadelphia. I'm excited to see what he's going to do because people forget that he is there. And I honestly forget that he's there half the time. The fact that he's a Flyer, like a top pick, and Drysdale is a Flyer, kind of crazy to me. There's a lot of people writing him off, though. I wouldn't really do that just yet because I think Drysdale, he's a right shot defenseman. We know that he's dealt with injuries, but if he can stay healthy, he's proven that he can maybe be a consistent top 4 defenseman. So I'm not writing him off just yet. Again, that third pairing is interesting. Zamula, I thought, had a good rookie year. Ristolainen is Ristolainen. Hopefully he can stay healthy or else that's not that great for the Flyers, even though him playing is not particularly great. You guys know what I mean. Your goaltending tandem is also a huge X factor. You have Samuel Ersson and Ivan Fedotov. That is every single 32-1 ranking of goalie tandems that I've seen this year is just so unbelievably low on that tandem. It's crazy. And I don't blame them because that tandem is inexperienced. Ersson did play a lot last year, but his stats at the end didn't look that good just because he got really tired and started the majority of our second half of the season. So, again, and Fedotov, too, also played 2 games and didn't look that great in either of them. But, again, you can't write them off that fast. We'll see how they do this year. I think that they really want Ersson to be that starting goaltender. If not, they want Fedotov to really get there. But we'll see, honestly. I have no idea what to expect from the goalie tandem. But, again, I do like most of the moves that Danny Briere and John Tortorella have done. I think that obviously Briere, there's been some moves he's been controversialized for, which we'll get into those, I'm sure, during the season, because he always makes some moves that get people talking. But I do like what he's done so far. And Tortorella gets a lot of flack, but he has done some good things here in Philadelphia. He's resurrected some players' careers, and I think that he doesn't get enough credit for that for sure. So, going into the Hockey News' yearbook, it has the Flyers projected 7th in the Metropolitan Division. Their cup odds are 63-1, and their biggest X factor is the Flyers don't have enough depth to overcome a slew of injuries, especially if they happen to key players such as Konechny, Sanheim, or Forster. Philadelphia needs to continue production of Owen Tippett, Joel Farabee, and Morgan Frost, and for secondary scorers such as Noah Cates and Bobby Brink to improve this year's totals. Yeah, if they're really going to make the playoffs, if they're going to break in, they need more goals. They need more scoring. The power play needs to get better. That's a big thing, and a lot of that's going to be put on Matvei Michkov. I don't know if that's justified. I don't know if that's deserved. But again, a lot of it is going to be. And we're going to see what's going to happen there with the young kid in this team. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hype around Michkov for sure. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate it. This is going to be one hell of a year for the Flyers. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.